Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics. He teaches for Beyond Academia Free School, school with a K, because they learned to spell properly in the free school, and also Arapahoe Community College and other venues. His work has appeared in Bombay Gin, that's the Naropa Literary Journal, Denver Quarterly, Boulder Weekly, and many other publications. In 2023, he, Eric Fischman, won Denver Quarterly's annual broadside competition. Congrats. He curates the Boulder Denver Poetry Calendar at the boulderpoetryscene.com. And his book, Morty Gets Enlightened, was published by The Little Door in 2017 and reissued, because it was so good, I'm sure, by Turn Soul Editions in 2021. And Eric and I have a mutual friend who lives on my block. I think that's how we met, Gabe DeRue. And we've crossed paths at various readings in town. He's a wonderful poet. I'm so pleased that you're joining us today, and the stage is all yours, my friend.
In which predictions are made. When the light touches me and not before, when I am full in the light, when the light hands me like a violet, when the full color of me is fully form, when I am structured, skeletal against the rock, when the light buries me, drowns me, when all the trees in the light have become the light, when all the stones in the dust become the dust, when I am flowered in dust, when the dust in the light washes itself away, when the mountain nods, when the last lingering cloud dusts us all in rain, when the fog exits me, when it enters, only then, when the pines needling out all colors, when the rainbow grass, when the chipmunks asking politely, when the flies beloved beside me. So I'm going to just sort of be all over the place with this set. My thought was just to pull out a bunch of my favorite poems that I've written and read them. They are every different kind of vibe. So if I knew there was such a clear vibe here, I would have prepared a set in line with that maybe, but we don't all gotta sing the same song, right? Blessing for the new poetry year. Blessed are the bone havers, the meat sleepers, the shirt untuckers. Blessed are the hoof stompers, the paw pirates. Blessed are the wild onions and the domestic. Blessed are the fruits of the cage. Blessed are the bar breakers, the bowl packers, the conscientious objects. Blessed are the tune sniffers, the shit flushers. Blessed are the blood. Blessed are the tomb. Blessed the long avenues of dust, the failing teeth, the singing moon. Blessed are the awkward, the regal, the fanatic. Blessed are the worm talkers. Blessed are the violets. Blessed the river ants clinging on their log. Blessed are this moment and the next one and the next. Blessed are the drying eyes, the flashing leaves, the sun and all its shadows. Blessed are the nurses, the mothers, the lovers' endless forms. If you don't see your name above, you are blessed. If the stars in your cells remain uncatalogued, you are blessed. Bark, you are blessed. Matter, you are blessed. Vibration, blessed. 23 and thee, blessed be. Poem online by Ernest Samuel Lyme. The line that I'm stealing starts to be a poet. April is the poemist month. What with the birds howl and 3-day winter redux, and Jupiter hangs right where you can see him. When it storms, the lightning bolts braid themselves together. You run out in it like a flagpole, proudly human, to be shuddered by the wind and pellets. Nobody can tell you how to do it. To be a poet, you need not go to poet school. You can just ask me. And I'll tell you what I learned was to be the riddle you already are, to game words with friends, they are already your friends, read poems to strangers, devour the mic. I went to school to unlearn. Turns out all you gotta do to write is write. Who'da thunk it? I went to school so you wouldn't have to. You can just read this poem or any other. It takes about 5 seconds to discern the secret of poetry once you look for it in the mirror. You couldn't stop writing poems if you lost both your hands, your mouth, the ability to gesture or shake. There is still the sun. There is still the green of the grass. You could have been blind at birth and you would still smell it. The first poem you ever wrote was DNA. The second was your first breath. The third, more literary criticism than poetry. They slapped you and you cried. On the mountain, in the woods, under a certain tree, there is a school desk. Don't ask me why, class is in session. The gray sky is talking. It wants to teach you about a new kind of cloud that feels like looking up at the ocean's skin. Undulatus asperitas, the rolling dream. A rough first draft, but the earth is writing new poems every day. Your cells are writing new poems every day. You don't have to go to school to forgive yourself, but there are poets waiting to help you if you do. Call now. Supplies are unlimited. A poem lands in the dirt beside my house and eats a smaller poem. The eagle curls a poem into its fist. The poem has 3 claws and a hidden claw that will someday be a thumb. It doesn't take much. Just a few minutes of lightness on the outer edge of April, a twist of the blinds, a glass of water. Just a glance at the prism blues, cloud angels, autumn weather and spring, and something like a pen in your hand. Letter to the moon. Dearest moon, is it you, the moon? I will call you moon. Dear orb, dear winking eyelid, when you weep in winter, we have 2 winters. When you wall the alley in pearl, there we lay our worship down. Today, it is the winter of spring. Dear opal, I grew up on a dale between 2 rivers, past the Russians playing backgammon on the way to shul. Once a year, we stuffed our sins into knotholes, fed them to the water. Here's the difference. On the mountain, the snow sinks into our skin. This is how we feel the tide. Dear silver bullet, may I call you Celine? Okay, Soma. Ink waxes in your shadow. The page swells. Winterson says, I don't write every day, but I stoke a fire. Embers spill from the manila envelope. I add them to the hearth. What if number 12? When the call goes out for volunteers for the Mars mission, I am first in line. The colony will need poets, I argue in my application, to describe all the newly discovered shades of red. Who will name the evolving flora and fauna? The scientists, of course, they reply. Yes, I say, but who will name them? After 7 months and 300 million miles spiraling weightless in a tin can, we make landfall at Jezero Crater. The rovers have been hard at work building our living pods, habitats, and stations. I call the big one Tom, the little one Jerry. The one with the helicopter blades is Tweety Bird. The scientists approve. Each day, I continue about the business of naming things, while the other 99 colonists do boring stuff like farm water and mix breathable air. The subterranean high-speed trains are sandworms. The ones above ground are luck dragons. Our mountain of living pods is the Crystal Castle. The ice mines are Moria. My inaugural collection, First Transmission from Mars, debuts to critical acclaim from the terraforming and exobiology departments and includes my award-winning long poem, Red Planet Pastoral, which earns the first ever Martian Poetry Prize from the Academy of Interplanetary Poets, which I founded. The poem goes like this. A miner of Moria hears the work whistle and clocks out for the night. Then rides the luck dragon back to the Crystal Castle. On the way, he watches Tom chase Jerry into the Valles Marineris. Ice cliffs rise above them like inverted waterfalls. The Martian sun sets, white coin in the blowing dust. It's Earth's sun too, he thinks, fingering the coal in his pocket, a keepsake. The Crystal Castle looms ahead, Elysium Mons transformed. Dome, sweet dome, he whispers aloud. I'm not pausing for dramatic effect well, I am pausing for dramatic effect. I'm not pausing for the applause, but applaud if you want, or 7 event scores addressing loneliness. An event score is a form that was created by a group of artists in the 60s called Fluxus. Many of them were students of John Cage. Yoko Ono was a Fluxus artist. They were very into music and performance art. And they had the idea to to score performance art the way you would score a piece of music. So they read like little instructional poems. 1. You set up a box in a public place and climb inside. A sign invites people to join you in the box. No one gets in. 2. You set up a box in a public place and climb inside. A sign invites people to join you in the box. Soon the box is stretched to capacity. While the other people laugh and joke at the tangle of limbs, you slip out. Nobody knows where you've gone. 3. You're standing outside the box, afraid to get in. Monsters live inside the box. Shadows live inside the box. Out in the street, the world is populated with humans. You get in the box. 4. You set up a box in a public place and climb inside. A sign invites people to join you in the box. A beautiful human of the gender you like gets in the box. The heat between your bodies is unbearable. Their hand grazes yours, and the box shivers. After a minute or so, they exit the box. Suddenly, the box is a barren ocean, and you're drowning in it. 5. The box is smaller on the inside than the outside. This is how you like it. The walls of the box hug your waist. You pull the sleeves of the box over your arms. In a clothing store, all the salespeople admire your suit. They finger the cardboard, test its strength. Only an old tailor can see the box. He turns his head away. 6. You draw landscapes inside the box. To the north, you draw a forest. To the south, a desert. To the east, a river. To the west, a mountain. You populate these landscapes with foxes and sloths, willow trees, ferns. There are no people. Below you, the mons of a volcano hisses and boils. 7. You set up a box in a public place and climb inside. A sign invites people to join you in the box. After a while, you wonder where everyone is and decide to look through the peephole. Outside, the street is full of boxes. Boxes buying flowers, boxes driving cars. A little box takes its mother's hand to cross the street. An older box stubs its toe and shouts. Some of the boxes have 3 corners. Some of them have none. A box like none you've ever seen presses its peephole to yours. So I'm glad we have a comic book fan in the audience. This is called The Thing Goes on a Tinder Date, and it's about the Thing from the Fantastic Four. So if you're not familiar with the Fantastic Four, just picture a large orange man made entirely out of rocks. Different orange man. We like this guy. He's a good. The Thing goes on a Tinder date. When you look like a ruin, the ladies don't go to rubble over you. But all I ever wanted to be was a quarry. Everything you need to build a life is right here. These hands may be the color of sandstone, but they still won't crumble. I can be the castle you always wanted. Let me make a shelter of my marbled palms against the radiation and the rain. Don't take this orange grin for granite. That was a joke. Love needs a solid foundation to dance on, and it doesn't get more solid than this. If it sounds like my mouth is full of gravel, it's because I mumble when I'm nervous. Am I talking too much? Maybe I shouldn't have made that ruin comment earlier. I'm supposed to come off steady, strong, not show you the canyons beneath my eyes. The truth is, I cry every day. It's the only way to keep the clay of my cheeks soft enough for you to see me smile. I am going to change my mind about a poem I was going to skip because it's about Superman. This is called Don't Dig Up Clark Kent. I wrote this after the terrible Justice League movie where they just ruined the death of Superman story, went ahead and killed him, invented it, just terrible. And they killed him and they're like, you know what we should do with this like dead and resting man who's like enjoying the afterlife is, force him to deal with our shit again. So this is Don't Dig Up Clark Kent. Don't salt his grave with your kryptonite tears. Don't jumpstart the mother box the moment it hits the fluid. He is with Rao and God, this man of 2 heavens. Let him become a star in the constellations above Kandor. Let Lois and John and Crypto the Superdog grieve off panel. This world has as many heroes as it has mirrors. Isn't that funny? It's okay to laugh it awake. He'd want you to smile anyway. Monuments are for the living, and the S on the statue looks just like his. Don't turn over holy ground for a Band-Aid. Don't encase your sorrow in lead. Let your soul recharge in the light of Earth's warm, yellow sun, like any Kryptonian would. This is called shidduch. A shidduch is, in Jewish culture, is like a matchmaking. And a shadchan is like the person who does the matchmaking. Shidduch. Tonight at the Jewish singles mixer on the rooftop lounge, the moon was an orange ghost masked in cotton. The speaker was an Orthodox matchmaker who believed in two things. One, go deeper, and two, listen, reflect, connect. There were 6 guys and 1 girl. Meanwhile, the thimble moon rose higher. We talked about our top 10 qualities in a mate and whether or not looks mattered. The moon looked like a heavy eye opening. We split into practice pairs, and the girl said her priorities were religiousness and having it together, neither of which qualified me. The clouds fled the moon, who painted a white lane across the black water. The boys were clever, the kinds of Jews who wear gold chains with the top button unbuttoned, Persian, Syrian. They were not looking for wives. The moon's cheeks flushed pale as winter. There was a real Trump vibe, if I'm being honest, and the matchmaker said, if you ever want to talk to your kids, you absolutely must keep Shabbos. The girl was cute, divorced mother of 3. We got along despite the disconnect. She took me on a tour of the Hilton next door, and the moon followed. The pillars and fountains were like Istanbul or Marrakesh. We made each other laugh, had good eye contact. I think we must have been flirting. But the moon hung in the empty sky like a mollusk. It spat pearls at the wild Pacific. It swallowed me in its silver. I just could not stop looking at the moon. Am I going to cheat more? No. This is called Ode to Eve Klein's Blue Monochrome. This is about a painting at the Museum of Modern Art. It's a large canvas. It's just blue, like that's it. It's just a big blue. And I was just, as a kid, I was always like amazed by the audacity of this man. Like, I'm gonna paint this giant canvas. It's just blue. It's gonna be insured for like $300,000, you know, and like, it'll be in a museum forever. It'll be one of the most famous things in the world. But the blue is so rich and dense, and it like glows. It's just gorgeous, and it warrants its own full-size canvas painting. It's such a unique blue that he actually copyrighted this color. It's called International Klein Blue. Blue like almost night, a blue so deep the light just reaches it. Blue bright on the inside, Atlantis blue, fluorescent blue, the blue the royals rejected purple for, blue as Ule when he sat with Marina, bluer than Picasso's blue period, blue like swimming in twilight, blue as thought, as dream. This is the only painting in the world blue. There's a hummingbird in my veins blue, blue like lightning's shadow, the blue of particle collisions, of wormholes, blue wearing a coat of many colors, all of them blue, blue in the midst of an epiphany, the Socratic ideal of blue. The last days of immortality blue. In the end, there can be only blue. Blue, without you, I'm colorblind. Fortune blue, madness blue, blue in the form of a wolf, blue sleeping on floodlights. No Tanzanite could ever be so lustrous. If Rama was this blue, it's no wonder Sita loved him. It's the world is ending blue. It's what are we going to do about it? Blue. It's a time travel poem. You all wanted to do it, but I did it. I killed baby Hitler. I squeezed 73 million lives out of his little lung. Every breath he didn't take fed legions of Roma and Jews. Das Institut for Sexual Wissenschaft was never ransacked. Its research never burned. Instead of the night of glass, we had the decade of flowers. Berlin became the first LGBTQ-friendly city. Auschwitz became a parking lot. Schindler wrote a grocery list. Elie Wiesel wrote love poems, and Eva Braun sought gentler company. The Olympics thrived, but the art world was never the same. My Bobby and her sisters went to Warsaw on vacation, and they all walked out. The name Adolf retained its original meaning, noble wolf. When we split the atom, we found our hearts inside. No one had to fear the shower head or the train. My father was born in bed instead of in a field. Why would we ever leave? In my pocket, 6 million plane tickets for cousins I've yet to meet. And I'm just going to read one more. This also requires a little explanation if you're not a comic book fan. So in the Green Lantern universe, if people are familiar with the Green Lantern, green ring makes energy constructs. The green ring is powered by will, but there's actually a spectrum of colors with rings. And there's like an indigo ring, there's an orange ring, there's a red ring. The red ring is powered by rage. The orange ring is powered by, I think, greed and jealousy, which is why there's only one. And the green ring is powered by will, but the star sapphire ring is powered by love. And the star sapphire ring is the only one that asks your permission when it chooses you to be its representative. So this is called the star sapphire ring asks for your consent. Reader, inhabitant of Earth, Space Sector 2814, you have felt great loss. You have stood in the ashes of churches. You have attended a funeral for an entire grade school class. You have seen families broken up by armed guards at the border, and you knew exactly what it reminded you of. Your world's suffering has carved a well into you that fills already with the violet light. Do you know how many galaxies there are in your sector alone? The ring chose you. Reader, you are capable of great love. Anyone who steps into your corona carries the seed of your flame. The ground shines beneath your satin boots. You could make this planet glow. Would you like to try it on? Thanks, y'all. And thank you, Shri and Marco, for having me. It's really special. Everything was amazing today. I'm just really honored to be a part of this performance. Really beautiful. And thanks to MD Friedman, who's not here, who tagged me in. So thank you.
you.